Hello, sports fan. This is Stephen Hill of Sports Choice Plus. I'm bringing you a very special breakdown. I'm going to be covering, did the Jacksonville Jaguars get it wrong? Before I get right into that, I'm going to make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel so you can get all the updates and all the breakdowns. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Coming off of a Monday night thrashing where the Jaguars were beaten from start to finish and the Buffalo Bills are made to look like the greatest show on turf, you see a lot of questions coming out about Trevor Lawrence. Over the last 8 games, between the last 2 seasons, the Jaguars are 0-8. They've lost 8 games. And either way you look at it, it's Trevor Lawrence at the helm of 8 of these games. When you think about the up and down play, when you think about the inconsistent throws, when you think about Monday Night Football, throwing to Hamlin, overthrowing him when you got a wide receiver running right across the middle of the field, it's Trevor Lawrence. When you think about Christian Kirk going up and down the sidelines, waving his hands like he's wide open, and no one throws him the ball, that's Trevor Lawrence. So I want you to understand that when it's all said and done, you have to understand you paid this guy $50 million per year moving forward for the next 5-6 years. The Jaguars have signed their rights away. So everywhere Trevor Lawrence has been, high school-wise, he's had pretty good wide receivers around him. When he went to Clemson, he had pretty good wide receivers around him. But as of right now, when he has to create and he has to lead and he has to build his team and make sure they're doing what they need to do, it's not looking like the Trevor Lawrence we saw in college. There's been questions. It's been up, down, up, down. I believe the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to get their coach fired. That's the first step. And then you got to think, the last couple of years we saw them completely fall apart in the playoffs, completely fall apart when they leave London, completely fall apart at home, completely fall apart away. And it's been nothing but a revolving door of mediocrity. No matter if it's Christian Kirk, no matter if it's Calvin Ridley, no matter who they have in that locker room. They are consistently mediocre, and when there's expectations put on the table for the Jaguars, they somehow sink. They somehow become smaller. They somehow shrivel up to expectations. But when there's no expectations, they somehow win all of a sudden. The Jacksonville Jaguars owner recently said at the start of the season, this is our most talented season that we've had for this team with so many names, so many players. He put it out there that they expect to win a championship. There's another Josh Allen on this team that plays defense. They're not showing up either. The defense isn't showing up. But it starts, if you saw that game, the offense let the defense down so much that there was such a deflating feeling in the building. Josh Allen and them did what they wanted to do. The first couple of games of the season, teams have come in and done what they wanted to do. So with that being said, you got to ask yourself, how do the Jacksonville Jaguars turn this around with a young man that they just handed a check over for basically $200 million? $50 million a year. There's not a quarterback that you can draft in a draft because you got to think you're going to have to get rid of Trevor Lawrence. The salary cap hit you would take from trading him would be ungodly. But you got to think, though, Trevor Lawrence has been mediocre since leaving Clemson. What has he done since he's been inside the NFL? You can give me a good game, you can give me a good stat, but you can't give me good, consistent seasons. You can't give me top 10 NFL play with what he's been doing. Again, we're just talking about top 10 in the NFL, not top 5, not top 2, not top 1. When it's all said and done, the Jacksonville Jaguars need to understand they made a mistake. Signing Trevor Lawrence to this deal, signing him and not making him wait it out and play it out until he has actually accomplished something. Doug's going to get fired. It's one of those things. It's because I don't see anything happening. I don't see somebody wanting to go play in Jacksonville. There's not a market in Jacksonville where free agents are just rushing to break down to go play with him. They can have all the money that they want to. Real elite wide receivers do not want to go play in Jacksonville. From the funky ownership to the funky team to what they have at quarterback, it's not worth it. All you Jaguars fans, get in the comment section. What do you think about Trevor Lawrence? What do you think about this dismal start? What do you think about his seasons where they struggle so much? And it's a lot to do with the quarterback position. Yes, their offensive line has holes on it. Yes, they have issues with certain people being able to play. But it starts also with Trevor Lawrence being able to make some basic throws. Being able to not turn the ball over so much. Not being the reason that your team defense has to be right back on the field. That makes the difference. Leave your comments in the comment section. Definitely check out Sports Choice Plus for all the breakdowns and all the updates, and I'll see you on the very next episode.